African Climate Week was held between the 29th August and 2nd of September in Libreville, Gabon. And I must say that for this regional climate weeks, the purpose and goals are typically similar. Purpose being to engage and empower stakeholders to drive climate actions across countries, communities, and economies. And the goals is around collaboration or providing a platform to explore resiliency. African Climate Week, of course, was an opportunity to engage and empower stakeholders from across the region. It was hosted by the government of Gabon and, of course, organized by UN Climate Change in collaboration with a number of UN bodies, with the World Bank, African Union, as well as African Development Bank and the UN Economic Commission for Africa. There were a number of interesting innovations, and this is now where Mr. Lee White, the Minister for Environment in Gabon, are coming to place. And there was a session that was hosted by Forest Steward Council, and where he gave a keynote speech, and a lot of things came up. One of it was that Gabon is the first country to receive carbon finance based on Forest Steward Council standards. Actually, the Forest Steward Council do not do evaluations directly. They just set the standards, and the number of organizations that actually do the evaluation are based on those standards. But since 2009, Gabon has, or rather, banned export of round logs, and also they've been practicing, what can be referred to as low impact selection logging. So this low impact selection logging means that they cut one tree per hectare over a period of 25 years in a given area. And what actually also happens with their program is that they have what they call high conservation value framework. So certain areas are considered high conservation areas, and they avoid logging in some of those places. And then they have post-logging decommissioning of roads. So once some areas have been logged, then they decommission the roads, so no more access to loggers in such areas. So overall, they have a certified system of forest management, which really conforms with the FSC's program. So in the process, 80% of the country is still forested, and they are now planning on a US market where they'll be selling furniture that are locally generated. We also learned that they have an industrial park of about 1,000 hectares where they allow concessioners to set up value addition. So the concessioners, when they get when they do the logging, they take the material to that industrial park and do value addition. The other innovation that came up was around the carbon capture, and this one is currently being undertaken successfully in Iceland, and it was imputed to be a way of potentially generating jobs for the youth in Africa. However, it was noted that it requires a lot of energy, and this energy need to be renewable, and it also requires a lot of labor. And because it requires a lot of labor, it can employ many youths. And the carbon is typically injected back into the rocks, and it stays underground. So it was actually suggested that Kenya, because it has got a lot of geothermal power generation would be a good country to set up this kind of activity, because in the geothermal activities, there's a lot of energy that is lost, and some of that energy could be used to capture the carbon. And because Kenya also pump, the water back into the underground, could also do the same with the carbon.